Hoi hoi.
Hello, Nicholas.
Hey there, Zach. How's it going?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Not much going on. Just winding down.
Fuck yeah. Well, we just got done blasting your track, Black Coast Tigress. Which,
oh, right on. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Man, it's one of my favorite tracks on the record, dude, because of that bass solo thing. That, man, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, thanks. That actually, very surprisingly enough, that solo wasn't even my idea. I'm the bassist in the band as well as the vocalist. But that was our guitarist David Gein's idea to kind of, include a bass solo before his solo. So I was pretty stoked on that. Nervous as well because I'm not used to playing solos.
Yeah, no, well, it was a great idea, man, because that's like that was what sold me right there, dude. As soon as I fucking heard that shit, I was like, fuck. I was right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was on Bandcamp hitting the buy button.
Oh, hell yeah. You super appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Interesting enough, that's also that was his pedals that I was using because he was a bassist before. He used to be in the band from Massachusetts, Black Pyramid.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Well, what pedal were you using for that? I
believe it was like the Cliff Burton wah, the bass wah.
Yeah. So it's got like a fuzz circuit built into it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I had to turn off my fuzz pedals that I normally run and kind of go with that sound, and that was cool. It took a lot of attempts in the recording studio, but I was pretty stoked with what we managed to get on the recording.
Oh, that's badass. Well, it sounds great, man. And you know what? I love Morley pedals, dude. My favorite wah is a Morley, man. I got a Bad Horsey, and I also got the George Lynch fucking model too. But the Bad Horsey, that's my favorite one. But I just like the fact that you don't have to hit a switch. You just, when you're ready to go, you just put your foot on it and it's right away. It's immediate, and then you let off and it's done. You don't have to worry about switching on and off. I can't stand that.
Yeah, I've always been interested in trying out like the Morleys. The one that I used for that portion of the song there, that's actually the first time I really played with one.
Yeah.
I used to do the tap dancing around with pedals on my board like before. I'm actually totally blind now. I went blind later on in life, so it's a little bit more difficult to do the tapping routine. So I'm kind of set it and forget it now, which is also why I did that in studio and not. I don't do that live as much,
Yeah. Wow. So you're blind? You're like really like blind?
Yeah, totally blind. Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I went blind like this will be like my 10th year blind. Pretty still kind of getting used to a lot of things, but thankfully music's always been a constant, and I have a pretty good support system and all that, so I can continue having fun playing music and making music with these guys.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, dude. How do you text and shit? Like, how does that work?
So like the phone that I use and like the not the laptop, but the tablet that I use, they have accessibility features, and when I get text, it'll read them to me, and I can do the voice to text.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, sometimes there'll be some incredibly embarrassing typos, and I'll have to like go back and sorry, I didn't mean that, and it's like my mom or my dad or something,
Actually, when I was texting you before the show, I was actually thinking, wow, he's like really good at texting, because a lot of times when you text people, it's fucking, there'll be a lot of typos and stuff, but there wasn't any. It was totally perfect, and it felt like I was talking to somebody on a computer and not, like typing it out. But
it's the little Robbie the robot that I've got hiding in my phone. So
it's cool, man. Technology, dude.
Right.
It can be good for some things, right?
For some things, yeah. All this other stuff that people threaten everybody else with. That's like the scary side of technology, right?
Right. Well, so tell us, give us a little brief history about the band. Like, tell us how long you guys been doing this. How did you get started and everything?
So, David Gein, our guitarist, he and I had a crossover thrash band called Septic Onslaught out here. Our drummer is actually our recording engineer, Bob Frank. He plays drums, in other bands as well, but he also owns a recording studio. So we were mostly recording at that time. We couldn't really schedule like live dates or anything like that. So David and I kind of thought like, hey, we should do something that's a little bit more closer to what we listen to as well. Not that we weren't listening to like thrash, but he and I are both really much into doom metal as well. And so we decided to start this project. Legend, as we put it out there, is that, we put a Craigslist ad, and luckily enough, the first reply we got was our drummer, David Morales. And he showed up, has probably one of the best personalities I've ever found in a drummer, Super friendly, super chill. Great drummer, as you can hear. But he also brought Halloween candy to the practice, so we were like, yeah, this is the guy right here.
Hell yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and we've been together since 2021. Put out an EP and then a single, and now this album, An Age Undreamed of.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, this is a great record, man, and I love the artwork on it, the logo, and the name, the Cimmerian. How did you guys come up with that? Is there a story behind that? So that's it's actually Conan the Barbarian. Yes.
Related. Yeah. So that's he comes from the land of Cimmeria, and we kind of named it that. So cheesily enough, the three of us kind of become the one character. The band itself is the character. So the whole theme is kind of sword and sorcery, adventure type stuff. That's kind of normal for these genres,
Yeah.
We just decided to kind of stick to the sword and sorcery and grimdark themes, a lot of esoteric and like real life kind of topics that are mysterious and mystic sounding,
Hell yeah. Yeah, well, when I read the name, immediately that's what my brain first went to. I was like, Conan, man, but I wasn't sure. But yeah,
Yeah. We just figured too. It's kind of a brutal sounding name. Not that we're like on the same level as other brutal sounding bands. Like Dying Fetus, because that's pretty gnarly. But it was just like anybody that's familiar with what we're doing and the name and the topics that we're singing about. It's like, yeah, this is barbarian metal. This is like just onslaught of riffs and heaviness and people yelling at you.
Dude, I was just playing a brand new track from another band called Conan, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, we're super big fans of them.
Yeah, hell yeah, man, you guys, that would be a cool fucking tour, dude.
We think so too, because it would be billed Conan and then the Cimmerian, so it would read as Conan the Cimmerian.
Hell yeah, that's perfect, man.
Yeah. I know they put out a new track recently, and they're coming out with a new album this year. So we're pretty stoked on listening to that as well.
Need to hit John Paul up, man. Hey, if you're listening, dude, fucking check these guys out, man.
I've actually, when Conan has played a couple of times here in Los Angeles, which is where we're from, I brought hamburgers down for him and the rest of the guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, every time they come out here, they like hamburgers. So
John's a good dude, man. I've had him on the show before. He's really cool, man.
Yeah, he is awesome. He's a super nice dude. A great killer rig as well. Whenever they play, they always sound fantastic. Yeah.
He's a big gearhead too, man. He's always changing up stuff and trying out different amps and pedals and shit.
Yeah, us as well. Like we, David, the guitarist, he has a couple of like custom Marshall heads that he uses. We're playing out of like 3 cabs sometimes, for him. And I play out of 2 cabs, so our room tends to get super, super noisy.
Oh yeah, man. What are they like those the modded fucking Marshalls?
He's got I think like a modded Super Lead, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh yeah.
And I think he's got a JCM as well.
Nice.
I don't know what else he might have in there, but I know he's running those as well as Oh, he just picked up an Ampeg V4, which is, loud as hell, heavy as hell as well.
Yeah. I just saw that Marshall just released at NAMM this year. Fucking that they're bringing it to the market, like their modded series of amps, like the JCM with all the mods in it, and the.
I saw that. Yeah. That's got to be pretty interesting. I'd be pretty stoked on checking that out or listening to see what it sounds, to see if it sounds as good as the other stuff.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But yeah. So we're pretty and like I said, I use the I stick to Ampeg heads. I'm pretty stock as far as a lot of my gear, but I just picked up a couple of worshiper cabs, and I gotta say those are like the loudest things ever. They're both 615s.
So 615s.
Yeah. When I stack them together, and
both
they're taller than I am.
So it's 12.
12, yeah.
Holy shit, man.
And then I also pair it up with an Ampeg 810, so the room is super loud, yeah.
You go blow everybody out the room, man.
It's funny. I'm like surprised that the building has not like crumbled down. Yeah. Because that would be pretty harsh, I think, for the cars to be under us.
Fucking earthquakes, man. Fuck.
Yeah. Sometimes we like to joke around, like that's not an earthquake, it's just us tuning around. Yeah.
That is badass though, man. Hell yeah. And Ampeg, man, for bass guitar, like Ampeg is that's the one right there, man.
Yeah. I love Ampeg. It's of course I put a bunch of pedals in front of that, but it's like I said, the easiest things to get a good sound out of. I used to use Sun amps, but the upkeep on Sun is expensive, because I was using a Model T before.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're pretty satisfied right now with what we're playing out of, and it's loud enough. We were actually told to turn it down at a show we played out here in one of the neighboring cities. And rather than turn it down, we're just like, no, it won't be a show if we turn it down. So we're gonna just leave.
Fuck yeah, man. Dude, the whole Conan the Barbarian thing, dude, like that's from my childhood, man, because I'm a pretty old dude. Like I grew up in the early '80s. I remember when that movie came out with fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. Yeah, it's a brutal movie. I think it's, for in my opinion, it's the best movie out there. That's
that
one
was
of my favorites.
Yeah, same. It's also pretty interesting that like he does all the least talking in the movie.
Yeah.
Because most of the talking is Mako and the other actors, the other big voice actors. So they kind of tell the story for him, and he just has to be Conan.
He doesn't have to say nothing, man. He just gives that look and then picks up the sword or the axe. Or
yeah.
It's over, man.
Yeah, like the most he ever says, when he has like, that, and like the most dialogue he has is the prayer to Crom when they're in the last battle, which is where he famously says to Crom, if you do not hear me, then to hell with you. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. There's so many good lines from that, and the whole thing about crush your enemies. What's
crush your enemies?
What's great?
Yeah, crush your enemies. Hear them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like it's super awesome that he's just like sitting there, and like the chieftain asks one of the other chiefs in the circle there, and he doesn't like his answer, and then he asks Conan, who's the stranger there, and Conan's the one that gives him the correct answer, as it were, and everybody cheers for him, which is like, this barbarian outsider's kicking ass.
Yeah. No, dude, I have a sound bite of that I play on the show fucking every now and then, man. So
hell yeah.
It's
my my ringtone is like the main theme from the movie too. So
hell
like,
yeah.
I think it's easy to say that I'm a little fanatical about the movie as well.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. Well, one of the questions from the people in the chat room, let me see here. Trexter wants me to ask you if when you lost your sight did that enhance your focus on the tone of all the instruments and mixes on the tracks?
Yeah, so since I have to rely on my hearing way more, I pay way much more attention to tonality, whether it's recorded or when we're playing it in the room. I really enjoy the fact that, like, when somebody's playing something for me, I kind of focus on every little thing now, and I can pick parts apart from songs a lot easier now than before. I used to always be a musician who learned stuff by ear, but now it's like a little bit more so,
Yeah.
So it kind of opened up the spectrum of sounds that I was able to pick up because I was focusing way much more on it. But yeah, and like, I've always been big into experimenting with pedals and my own sound, so I get to kind of sit down and be a little bit more patient with what I'm messing around with when I mix up like a fuzz and an overdrive or just distortion and fuzz or something,
That makes me think of something, because I watch a lot of gear reviews and stuff on YouTube with these different people testing out different stuff, and they always have those blindfold tests where they'll blindfold one guy and make him try to pick out like what amp he's playing through or what pedal is which and which one's his favorite, and they'll stick like really expensive ones in there, and then they'll stick cheap ones in there, and they'll try to see like what he picks. But so like for you, that I guess that's just like it's automatic all the time, because
they could save the blindfold with me.
you can't judge it by what it looks like or what the name is. It's simply fucking the sound, man. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's why also like when I on my board, it's all pretty stock as far as the pedals I've got on there, because I'm if anything tends to burn out or just fall apart or whatever, I want to be able to walk into a music store, replace it right away, and get back to making noise.
Yeah, hell yeah. Man.
Yeah.
What's your favorite stuff to use?
Right now I'm running a Sans amp for like a preamp kind of equalizer to get my bass tone, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
A noise gate, the Boss, whatever, the noise suppressor, an HM2 Wasa, because I love that pedal.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely love it. It's ever since I first heard it with like the Swedish metal bands, and then I find out that other, like punk bands and doom bands use it as well. I was like, hell yeah, I gotta listen to this, and I loved it and got one for myself. I'm also running a triangle muff at the moment, which is, I believe, EHX. I want to say, yeah. It's they put it out a couple years ago. It's supposed to be a copy of the Ram's Head circuit or something. I might get that wrong, but that's the pedal I have.
Nice.
Yeah, and I just found out about parallel, having your pedals on parallel instead of series.
Yeah.
I'm like totally new to this because I'm not used to snooping around in guitar forums. So I found out about that technique, and now I kind of want to mess with parallel formatting of my pedal board. Yeah.
I was just watching a video about that on JHS Pedals. He was talking about that exact same.
I saw that same one. That's the one that got me into this.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, with the what is it? The summing pedal and the other one.
Yeah, he's got two little devices. One that splits it into two, and then one that brings it back into one, so you can.
That's the exact video I saw. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you can run it out into, and then you can blend it however you want, which is really cool, man.
Yeah, apparently you can do the same thing with the Boss line selector, the LS2, which I have. So, lucky for me, I don't have to go out and buy two other pedals. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna go into our rehearsal room tomorrow and try that out.
Yeah, that really is a cool idea. Like the way that he was showing, like how he was running one. He was doing a fuzz on one side, and then he was doing a clean signal on the other, or doing a drive and a fuzz, or doing like a delay, you know, and a regular, and you would have the delay carrying on, but then it's really weird, man. It's bizarre.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the stuff he was coming up, especially with like the kind of like the more time-based effect pedals.
Yeah.
You know, I started playing guitar with another guy in another band, who's a really good friend, and he's a guitarist by nature, like by trade. So I kind of had to pick up my game on guitar, and I want to make sure that whatever I bring is going to sound as good as his, and that's going to involve effect work. And so I've been thinking, like, man, what like reverb pedals can I get? What, you know, delay should I get? Because I have a few, but I wanna you know, make my playing stronger and sound better. So I'm always on the hunt for cool recommendations on pedals.
Yeah, you know, it makes sense to bring that to the pedal board too, because like in actuality, we do that anyway when mixing stuff, recording in the studio. You know, like when you're bouncing tracks and stuff, like sometimes you will do a lot of things in parallel where you have like tracks getting sent to a reverb channel at the same time as the unreverbed, you know. Yeah,
totally. Yeah. Because like depending on however it is that bands record, like for example, when we were recording, David used one guitar amp for one channel, you know, a second guitar amp for a second channel, and that's essentially what those pedals would be able to do as well. You kind of single out the line and then mix it up at the end. So why shouldn't that apply to, you know, effects pedals? Which again, I'm surprised that I've never discovered that before until now. Yeah. Of course, all the cool stuff comes out, or I find out about when I'm playing, you know.
Oh, it's a great time to be a musician, in my opinion, because there's so much information out there now, and there's so many discoveries and so many different techniques and things that you can learn and do. You know, like when I was a kid, man, there was none of that. You know, we didn't have the internet or anything, so you were just stuck with looking at a catalog and buying something that you didn't even know what it was going to sound like, and then you get it and you just plug it in and you hope for the best.
Yeah. Because you know, I don't know how old you are, but similarly, you know, we used to have like Tascam 4-track recorders or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to use them, but somehow we scraped a demo out of them and put it out, and it was great for us, you know. And yeah, you're right. It is a good time to be a musician, you know. And there's so much stuff out there that's also accessible and compatible for visually impaired people, blind people, you know. So while it's not a good thing to be, it's also a pretty good time to be blind, because there's so much stuff that's still able to be enjoyed and done by people with this, you know, with this disability, you know. So yeah,
that is really, really cool, man. And that's awesome that, you know, I mean, yeah, you're able to do it. I mean, fuck, this record sounds fucking amazing though, man. It really does.
Thank you. Yeah, and we had a lot of a lot of fun, you know, working on it. We started pretty much playing together as a band towards like the end of 2021, and since then we had a bunch of songs ready. So since then, and last year, February of last year, we'd been doing a bunch of these songs live. So we're pretty stoked that we were able to commit them to a recording, put it out there, and, you know, thankfully the people who have been listening to it have enjoyed it, which we're super, super grateful for.
Yes. Big shout out to Decibel Magazine for putting out that premiere for you guys, man. It was awesome, dude. Like that pulled me in right away. And big shout out to Clawhammer too, my buddies over there, man, for hooking up the interview, man.
Ryan and Scott have been incredibly helpful. Yeah. They're awesome dudes.
Love those guys, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the Decibel thing was awesome. You know, it's such a prestigious platform, and you know, whenever anything in it, you know, you're a part of is kind of put on there, it's like too big for words sometimes, you know. So it's cool that was on there and that people enjoyed it from there. We somehow started seeing results from that like right away, which was cool, because we just want our music to be heard, you know. We want to be able to go out there and play these songs and have people have fun.
Hell yeah.
And that helped a lot. So yeah, that was cool.
Well, speaking of playing the music and having fun, for people out there who've never seen a live show with you guys, what can they expect?
We're pretty no nonsense. Like, we don't really have a stage show, which kind of helps us because we go up there and we just rock. You know, we play pretty hard, we play pretty loud, and there's no frills. You just get loudness, you get riffs, you get distortion and volume. But it's fun because I think these songs are fun to play, and I think that shows as well when we're playing. You know, we're not like, you know, we're not in like bad moods when we play. We're stoked to be playing wherever and with whomever. So we have a good time, and I think that shows, and in turn, people have fun at our shows, even if they've never really heard our music. There's at least one song or a riff in there that they'll enjoy. You know, come up to the front, check it out.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, where's the best place for people to go if they want to buy some music, merch, and support you guys?
So we have the Cimmerian.bandcamp.com, of course. We have our Instagram, which is the Cimmerian Official. And I think the same thing is for our Facebook. And if you contact us there, you know, we can point you towards the right direction. But our new album actually came out via BVR, Black Voodoo Records, out here. So they have blackvoodoorecords.bandcamp.com as well.
Nice.
And they're also on Instagram under Black Voodoo Records.
Very cool, man. Do they have a vinyl as well?
They actually put out the vinyl, and it's dual, like two-colored vinyl, like an orangey pink into blue, which matches some of the color scheme on the cover.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and from what I'm told, it looks amazing, which I know it does, because, you know, the people involved, like our cover artist Bob Stearns, he's been the guy that we've been working with so far on all of our releases, and you know, he does a awesome job just kind of putting what we want into a picture, you know, into an image. But Black Voodoo Records made this beautiful record, this piece of vinyl that's, I think, very fitting of what the music on there is about. And we have CDs and, of course, digital on our Bandcamp. But yeah, we were thinking of making cassettes at some point in the future if people are into that, you know?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, I've already got the fucking digital, man, but I'm gonna have to fucking check out that vinyl too, man, because that sounds cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's always cool too when like something you've worked on for so long and so hard, especially like hammering out these songs at practice and then it shows, you know, and it's finally committed to vinyl. It's cool kind of physically holding it and going through the ritual of putting the vinyl on the turntable, putting the needle on the record, cranking the volume, and enjoying what it is that you were a part of, you know? That's always pretty cool.
Hell yeah, man. All right, well, I guess I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else you want to let the people know?
Well, firstly, thank you, Zach, for having me on here, giving me a chance to blab about all this stuff. Super appreciate you checking out the music and enjoying what's on there. If anybody out there is interested, you can check us out on thecimmerian.bandcamp.com. We have our Instagram at the Cimmerian Official, same for Facebook and all that. We're also on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube, I believe.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we're from LA, and hopefully we'll come out to some other cities out there in the States and hopefully be playing outside of the States as well. But if you enjoy what you listen to, get in touch.
Fuck yeah, man. All right, well, before I let you go, can I get you to make us a station tag real quick?
Yeah, all right. Do you have anything, or should I just wing it?
Whenever you're ready, just say something like, this is the Cimmerian, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio. All right.
This is Nick from the Cimmerian, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio!
Hell yeah, dude. That's a fucking winner right there, man.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks a lot for taking the time to hang out with us. Really appreciate it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more Cimmerian for these motherfuckers. They go crazy, all right?
Hell yeah. Thank you so much again. Have a great rest of the show, and talk soon.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Cheers.
All right. Bye-bye. Cheers.
There you have it, folks. The Cimmerian live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway, do whatever the fuck you gotta do, man. If you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, what the fuck, man? We're gonna send the Cimmerian after your ass. Crank it up, motherfuckers.